Brown full steam ahead. Watch the ball. Strus was there. And then Brogdon outside. Strus will defend.
After watching one of the least competitive Game 7s I've ever witnessed, it's safe to say that the past few weeks have been an absolute roller coaster for the Miami Heat and Boston Celtics. And because of that, in this video, I'll be discussing the future of Jaylen Brown. On the screen are all 8 of Jaylen Brown's turnovers in Game 7, which is actually tied for the second most turnovers in a Game 7 ever. Donovan Mitchell holds that top spot with 9 against the Denver Nuggets back in the bubble. Jaylen Brown also shot 1 for 9 from 3 and 8 for 23 from the field in Game 7, so it's safe to say that Brown was historically bad. Now, Jason Tatum wasn't too great either. Unfortunately, he tweaked his ankle at the start of the game, so we didn't get to see him attack. The thing with Jaylen Brown that has everyone so pissed is his lack of ball handling and playmaking ability, which becomes clearly evident come playoff time because the Celtics don't have a consistent playmaker. Marcus Smart led the team in assists with 6 this regular season, and during the playoffs, Jason Tatum led the team with 5. Both of these guys aren't looked at as primary playmakers, and when it comes to Jaylen Brown, he's really subpar. In his playoff career so far, he has 241 assists and 233 turnovers, a really poor assist to turnover ratio. And I would say that Jaylen Brown's most valued skill is his ability to hit contested and difficult shots, and I would vouch for him as one of the better shot makers in the league. But in this series against the Miami Heat, Brown had some of the worst efficiency numbers from a second-team All-NBA player that I've ever seen, and I'm looking right at you, Julius Randle. I mean, look at these numbers compared to his overall playoff stats. It's like night and day. He was solid during the Hawks series. He wasn't that bad with the 76ers. He had good efficiency numbers and then completely dropped off. His three-point shooting, honestly, if he just shot a little bit better, it would have made a huge difference in this series, but unfortunately, he only shot 16%. So what does any of that mean, and where does that take us on the Jaylen Brown timeline? Since the Boston Celtics got demoralized by the Miami Heat in Game 7 of the ECF, there's been a lot of speculation about what is going to happen with JB since he made an All-NBA team this year. He's qualified for the Supermax. Now, the Supermax is worth up to $295 million, and the breakdown is pretty disgusting. Obviously, the Celtics also have another great star in Jason Tatum, and in a year, he will be available for $319 million, which basically means for the next 5 years, you might have $600 million tied up into just 2 players. On the screen right now is the contract breakdown for Jaylen Brown if he were to sign the Supermax with the Boston Celtics this offseason. And since the new CBA prevents teams from diving deep into luxury tax like the Warriors, Cavs, Lakers have done in the past, also the Clippers are deep in the luxury tax now, it'll take serious consideration from organizations who want to sign multiple all-star to superstar level players. Now, Jaylen Brown to me is a certified bucket. He's an all-star. He's a great player. He made the All-NBA team, so he does deserve to get the chance to sign that Supermax. But when you look at the figures on the screen, they make you want to scream because you see $50 million, you see $66 million. Guys who are going to be making this kind of salary, you want to win a championship with. So you're looking at the Luka Doncic's, the Giannis Antetokounmpo's, Jason Tatum, maybe Devin Booker after how he's performed. You know, the Jokic's of the world, LeBron James, players like that who are going to bring in championships or get you to the championship. And if you just have Jaylen Brown, I'm not a firm believer in his ability to lead you down a path single-handedly. He might get traded and we might see Jaylen Brown in action as a lone superstar. But in my opinion, it's a really big bullet to bite. But when it comes down to it, I know I've been dogging Jaylen Brown a lot throughout this video. I think you have to sign him. I think you have to run it back at least one more year. Now, after a player signs a Supermax, you can't trade him for a year. That was, involved when the Supermax became a thing. It was the Kevin Durant rule to kind of keep players from where they were drafted, and I do like that. And Jason Tatum isn't up for his contract until next season. So I think if the Celtics were to pull the trigger and snap the cord on this connection, then they have to wait at least one more season. You do it now, you don't really know what would ever have happened with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum. Obviously, if you trade them and you win a title in the next season or two with assets that you got for Jaylen Brown, it's a win, but in my opinion, that's a very risky thing to do. That's enough for me for now, though. Let's see what Jaylen Brown had to say after Game 7.
In terms of the possibility of you getting an extension this summer, especially after making All-NBA, what is kind of your thought process going into the summer, and how do you expect it to play out?
You asked what's my thought process? I really don't.
Today, Junior?
I don't even really know how to answer that question right now, to be honest. My thought process is, take it one day at a time. Focus on, getting better. Focus on, what the future holds and see where we are from there. I guess I don't really know how to answer that.
Obviously, he gave a very political answer, and as he should. He just lost a Game 7. I wouldn't expect him to know what was going on, what kind of emotions he was going through in that moment. So you really don't expect too much from a post-game. I wish we lived in a world where players just said how they're feeling, like, I want to get away from Jason Tatum, or nah, I'm going to stay here and try to win a championship, build up a dynasty with the Boston Celtics, but obviously we're not going to get that. Right now, I've just been searching through articles to see what kind of trade rumors are out there and which trades seem most realistic or likely to happen, and honestly, not a lot of them do unless they're involved with the Portland Trail Blazers. The two trades that I could see them considering from the Portland Trail Blazers would be Jaylen Brown for Damian Lillard. Now, I don't know if they would go straight up or somebody would give a few picks or more. I'm not too sure exactly how the salaries are matched. And then the other trade would be Anthony Simons and the number 3 pick for Jaylen Brown. I think both of these could work for both teams, honestly. I mean, I'm a New York Knicks fan, so whatever happens in Portland doesn't really bother me, but I've wanted Damian Lillard to leave for years, like most NBA fans. And then Anthony Simons, I mean, he's basically my age. I've been watching that guy since he was in high school, so it'd be cool to see him playing with the Boston Celtics and get some game time with Jason Tatum. I think they'd be a decent duo. But I don't really know if either of these trades push either team over the edge. Whether you're starting out with Jaylen Brown, Anthony Simons, and that number 3 pick, or you're starting out with Damian Lillard and Jaylen Brown, I don't think that pushes the Trailblazers to be title contenders, or at least title favorites. Maybe they would contend a little bit in like that 6th to 7th seed range. And then when you look at the Celtics, it just, I don't know, whenever you have to add other pieces, you never know what's going to happen. And I feel like they should just build on the chemistry that they have with the current core and see how next season goes and then make a real decision. And if they want to trade Jaylen Brown by next season, I think that would be perfectly fine. There are other trades that I saw that just make no sense. Like there was one I saw, DeMar DeRozan for Jaylen Brown. That doesn't make any sense at all. There was one with the Hawks, and again with the money, it didn't seem to make sense. There was one with the Bucks, and it was either Chris Middleton or Drew Holiday straight up for Jaylen Brown. I don't think that really matters for either team, honestly. I don't think that would help the Celtics at all. So in my opinion, they should just keep Brown on the roster, re-sign him, and then see what happens this next season. Try to build the roster as strong as you can before this new CBA really puts things into perspective for a lot of these big teams.